everybody, it's Mel. Thank you so much for joining me today for a birthday book haul. So, as many of you are probably aware, March was my birthday month. My birthday is in the middle of March, and I received quite a few amazing presents, many of which were books, throughout the month of March. I say that it's a book haul, but I do want to show you, first of all, a present from my partner Rowan, which are these earrings. I actually picked them out, but he purchased them for me. We went and had lunch in the Botanical Gardens and had a look in their store, and I saw these and he said, I'll get them for your birthday, which was really amazing. So this is the first part of the haul. But yeah, I do have quite the pile of books that I wanted to show you. So let's do that. First of all, I have two books that were sent to me by one of my amazing subscribers, Liz. Thank you so much, Liz. I really appreciate this. One of the books was actually sent as a congratulations on hitting 1,000 subscribers, and then the other one was for my birthday. So thank you so much, Liz. Like I said, I really appreciate it. Absolutely floored by this amazing present. So I received The Last Tale of the Flower Bride by Roshani Chotsky. This is just an absolutely stunning book. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I love the deckled edges. I don't know if you can see that from there, but it has deckled edges, which is not something I'd actually ever come across before, although I've heard people on BookTube talk about it, so I'm kind of excited to have them. Don't know how I'll go reading them, but they look gorgeous. So this book says, a sumptuous Gothic-infused story about a marriage that is unravelled by dark secrets, a friendship cursed to end in tragedy, and the danger of believing in fairy tales. The breathtaking adult debut from New York Times best-selling author Roshani Chotsky. I apologise, I'm probably saying that name very wrong. Once upon a time, a man who believed in fairy tales married a beautiful, mysterious woman named Indigo Maxwell Castanata. He was a scholar of myths. She was the heiress to a fortune. They exchanged gifts and stories and believed they would live happily ever after. In exchange for her love, Indigo extracted a promise that her bridegroom would never pry into her past. But when Indigo learns that her estranged aunt is dying and the couple is forced to return to her childhood home, the House of Dreams, the bridegroom will soon find himself unable to resist. For within the crumbling manor's extravagant rooms and musty halls lurks the shadow of another girl, Azure, Indigo's dearest childhood friend, who suddenly disappeared. As the house slowly reveals his wife's secrets, the bridegroom will be forced to choose between reality and fantasy, even if doing so threatens his marriage or his life. I just think that sounds absolutely incredible, and I'm really excited for this one. So yeah, can't wait to get to that. Liz also bought me this absolutely beautiful cloth-bound classics edition of Great Expectations. I think this is absolutely stunning. So beautiful. I love the cloth-bound classics. You may know, I don't know, I don't mention it very often, but I am trying to collect the cloth-bound, Penguin cloth-bound classics editions, but it's not something that I can really get very easily in Tasmania. So occasionally, very kind people get one for me for a birthday or something like that. So yeah, thank you so much, Liz. I just think it's absolutely stunning, and I'm super excited to have it. I really enjoyed Great Expectations, so I'm really excited to have a beautiful copy of this, and yeah, it's just amazing. So thank you. Hello, it's Different Day Filming, Mel, and I just wanted to jump in because I thought that I had received 3 books from Liz. Sorry, that's the cat. One of the cats, that's Shade talking to the birds. But then I just couldn't remember what the third one was because I'm terrible and I didn't write it down. But this morning I figured out which one it was. So it is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. So it says, a curmudgeonly professor journeys to a small town in the far north to study fairy folklore and discover dark magic, friendship and love in this heartwarming and enchanting fantasy. Cambridge professor Emily Wilde is a genius scholar who is writing the world's first encyclopedia of fairy lore, and Emily lives for her work. She emphatically prefers the company of her books, her dog, Shadow, and the fair folk to other people. So when she arrives in a hardscrabble village in the far north, Emily wishes only to focus on her studies. She certainly doesn't have time for another new arrival. Her dashing and insufferably handsome academic rival, Wendell Bambley, who manages to charm the townsfolk, muddle Emily's research, and utterly confound and frustrate her. But as Emily gets closer and closer to uncovering the secrets of the Hidden Ones, the most elusive of all fairies, lurking in the shadowy forest outside the town, she also finds herself on the trail of another mystery. Who is Wendell Bambley, and what does he really want? To find the answer, she must unlock the greatest mystery of all, her own heart. So another amazing sounding book. Thank you so much, Liz. The next book was sent to me by Tracy, who is another absolutely fantastic subscriber of mine. Tracy has been a subscriber of mine since nearly the beginning of my channel, and she's always been incredibly supportive and always, sending me gifts and helping me out with ideas and participating in things, and I just think it's absolutely amazing and I really, really appreciate it. And I really appreciate this present because she also sent me Gods of Jade and Shadow by Silvia Moreno Garcia, which I, again, think is stunning. And yeah, I'm super excited about this one. I have been interested in this one for a while now, and the only book of Silvia Moreno Garcia's that I've read is Mexican Gothic, which I did really, really enjoy. I now have 2 other of her books, so I'm very excited to read some more of Silvia Moreno Garcia. So, it says, the Jazz Age is in full swing, but Cassiopeia Chun is too busy scrubbing floors in her wealthy grandfather's house to do more than dream of a life far from her small town in southern Mexico. Until the day she accidentally frees an ancient Mayan god of death, who offers her a deal. In return for Cassiopeia's help in recovering his throne, he will grant her whatever she desires. From the jungles of Yucatan to the bright lights of Mexico City and deep into the darkness of Xibalba, the Mayan underworld, Cassiopeia's adventures will take her on a perilous cross-country odyssey beyond anything she's ever known. Doesn't that just sound amazing? I'm really excited for this one as well. Then the absolutely amazing Paige from Pages with Paige, who is one of my BookTube besties. She is also incredibly supportive and amazing. I have done buddy reads and so many different things with her, and I have loved getting to know Paige. She's one of my BookTube besties, like I said, and I love her so much. Thank you so much, Paige, for the 2 books that you sent to me, the first of which was Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail by Ashley Herring Blake. This is the second book in the series, which starts with Delilah Green Doesn't Care. I believe it's a companion series, so that followed Delilah, and then this one follows Astrid, who is Delilah's stepsister. I thoroughly enjoyed Delilah Green Doesn't Care, and I'm really excited to read this one. So on the back it says, for Astrid Parker, failure is unacceptable. Ever since she broke up with her fiancé a year ago, she's been focused on her career. So when she's asked to be the designer for the Everwood Inn's renovation, to be featured on a hugely popular home makeover show, Astrid is thrilled. Not only will the project be the perfect distraction, but her perpetually displeased mother might finally give her a nod of approval. However, Astrid never planned on Jordan Everwood, lead carpenter for the renovation. Jordan is determined to preserve the history of her family's inn, particularly as the rest of her life is in shambles. When that determination turns into some light sabotage to ruffle Astrid's perfect little feathers, the showrunners ask them to play up the tension. But somewhere along the way, their dislike for each other evolves into something quite different. It's time for Astrid to decide if she's going to pursue the life that she's expected to lead or the one that she really wants. So yeah, like I said, I love Delilah, so I'm very excited to read this one. Paige also sent me Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry. I feel like this is so incredibly popular on BookTube at the moment that I don't really have to tell you that much about it, but for anyone who isn't big in the BookTube world, I really like this cover as well, although the original cover was something that was really fun as well, which I'll try and put up here somewhere. So this book was originally self-published, I think, and then was picked up by Tor and has been republished, which is very exciting. I will read the blurb for you as well. She's done slaying monsters. She's ready to serve coffee. After decades of adventuring, Viv the York Barbarian is hanging up her sword for good. Now she sets her sights on a new dream, opening the first coffee shop in Thun, even though no one there knows what coffee actually is. If Viv wants to realise her plans, she'll need help from unexpected quarters, yet rivals old and new stand in the way of success, and Thun's shady underbelly could make it all too easy for Viv to take up the blade once more. But the true reward of the uncharted path is the travellers you meet along the way. Whether bound by ancient magic, delicious pastries, or a freshly brewed cup, they may become something deeper than Viv could ever have imagined. Legends and Lattes is a cosy, heartwarming story of found family, fresh starts, and the perfect cup of coffee. This sounds so awesome, and I've heard from basically anyone that's ever read it that it's absolutely amazing and so much fun and just so comforting, and yeah, a hug of a book, and I'm super excited to read it, so thank you, Paige. The next book was given to me by one of my best friends, Michelle. Thank you so much, Michelle. You've seen Michelle on this channel a few times, and I think it's time we made some more videos, but anyway. For the moment, I'm talking about the book that she bought me, and that was A Narrow Door by Joanne Harris. Joanne Harris is the author of Chocolat, which is one of my favourite books of all time, so I'm very excited to have one of her more recent books. I believe this one was published in 2021 or 2020? 2021. So yeah, it says, Rebecca Buckfast has achieved what she thought was impossible. She is now the first ever headmistress of St. Oswald's School. It doesn't matter how many people she killed to get there. She's now a part of history. But as the new regime takes on the old guard, the ground shifts, and with it the remains of a body are discovered. But Rebecca is here to make her mark. She'll bury the past so deep it will evade even her own memory, just like she has done before. Because now she's made it in. She won't let a murder force her out. I didn't really know what this book was about, and it sounds fantastic. I really enjoy Joanne Harris's writing style, and I love that she's able to write so many different kinds of books, so I'm super excited for this one as well. Hi, me again. I just wanted to also say that Michelle got me this absolutely adorable mug with the cat on top of the books. Very Mel mug, so yeah, thank you, Michelle, which is a refrain you can hear throughout the entirety of this book haul. But anyway, the next book was sent to me by my youngest sister, Carol. She lives in Queensland, so she asked me what I would like for my birthday, and she said she'd send it to me. I told her basically stationery, books or jewellery were usually a good choice, and she decided to send me a book that she really loved. It is in fact one of the books that she recommended for me to read in my 45 books to read before I turn 45 list/video, and that is Gone by Michael Grant. This is the first book in the series, I think, which is also called Gone. There are quite a few books on this series. It says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's quite a lot of reading to be done, but it is a young adult, and although it is a bit thick, it's not like a huge book, so I think it'll be reasonably easy to get through, and also it's not like massive font. But anyway, it says, suddenly it's a world without adults. In Perdido Beach, all adults have disappeared and no one knows why. Kids under 15 have been trapped, cut off from the outside world. Sam Temple and his friends must do all they can to survive. Chaos rules the streets. Gangs begin to form. But when some of them start to develop strange powers, everyone, strong or weak, is forced to choose a side. The Gone series is Lord of the Flies for the 21st century, in turns breathtaking, harrowing, and brilliantly terrifying. So, yeah. It sounds really interesting. It sounds like it could be really fun. Like I said, I know Carol absolutely loves this series, and she really wants me to read it. So I'm definitely keen to give it a go and see what I think. The next book is a book that my parents bought for me for my birthday, and it is Surrender by Bono. It is Bono's autobiography. I probably don't listen to YouTube very much anymore. I do listen to a few songs on my liked playlist in Spotify, but they are a band that I absolutely have loved throughout my entire life. My dad loves U2, and he used to play them all the time, and so I've grown up listening to them. Really enjoy their music. Their older stuff is more my preference, but I just think they're a really interesting band, the way that they are able to kind of reinvent themselves. I think that Bono is a really interesting character. I know that he kind of seems like he's a bit pretentious at times, but I do think that he's actually quite an interesting person, and I'm keen to see what he has to say about his life and about being part of U2. So, it says, I was born with an eccentric heart. A remarkable book by a combative artist who finds he's at his best when he learns how to surrender. Episodic and irreverent, introspective and illuminating, Surrender is Bono's life story, organised but not too tidily, around 40 U2 songs. So I think that sounds like a really fun format as well, which I'm excited about. Bono grew up on the north side of Dublin with a Catholic father and a Protestant mother during a time of rising sectarian violence in Ireland. The loss of his mother at the age of 14 was the absence that would shape his search for family. He started out life feeling average, but ultimately his whole life would be pitted against the assumption that anyone is average. His creativity is chaotic but ever present, in the studio, on stage, at the protest, along the halls of Congress, or in a corner bar. We read about his anger issues, which colour his writing on love and non-violence, and hear him own up to an ego far taller than my self-esteem. Across 4 decades, U2 transformed from teenage wannabes to the biggest band in the world, and Bono evolves from a part-time activist to a full-time force in the fight to cancel poor countries' debt and persuade governments, particularly the United States, to respond to the global AIDS emergency. We are with him at the birth of PEPFAR, the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief. At the time, it amounted to the biggest health intervention in the history of medicine to fight a single disease. He describes the campaigners of ONE, the NGO he co-founded, as factivists, and sister organisation RED as a gateway drug to activism. U2 fans will learn why Bono believes U2 have stayed together despite decades of personal struggle and fiery creative disagreements, and find keys to unlock the meaning of the band's most popular and influential songs. The doors are open to Bono's interior life. The squandering of human potential is a constant theme, as is his faith, which he describes as sorting the signal from the noise, a still small voice he hears strongest in his marriage, his music, and in the fight against extreme poverty. Above all, Surrender is a love story written to his wife, Ali, whom he asked out on a first date the same week as the band's first rehearsal. Alison Stewart supplies direction for every major scene in this drama, including the third act they now enter, with more questions than answers regarding what to fight for and what to surrender. But yeah, I think this is going to be really, really interesting, and I'm super excited to dive in and read all about it. Next up, we have a book that my partner Rowan purchased for me. Again, just like the earrings, I selected it. After we bought the earrings, we went to a local shopping centre and we looked in a bookstore, and I pointed it out and said how beautiful it was. Rowan was kind of like, but do you actually want to read it? And I was like, yes, yes, yes. So he purchased it for me, and that is A Day, a Fallen Night by Samantha Shannon. Love this cover. It is probably the most beautiful book that I own, potentially that I've ever seen. I love the dragon. I love the title as well. Everything about this is so my aesthetic. This is the prequel to The Priory of the Orange Tree, which I absolutely loved when I read it a couple of years ago. So it says, Tunuva Melem is a sister of the Priory. For 50 years she has trained to slay worms, but none have appeared since the Nameless One, and the younger generation is starting to question the Priory's purpose. To the north, in the Queendom of Innis, Sabran the Ambitious has married the new King of Hroth, narrowly saving both realms from ruin. Their daughter, Glorian, trails in their shadow, exactly where she wants to be. The dragons of the east have slept for centuries. Dumai has spent her life in a Sarkanese mountain temple, trying to wake the gods from their long slumber. Now someone from her mother's past is coming to upend her fate. When the Dread Mount erupts, bringing with it an age of terror and violence, these women must find the strength to protect humankind from a devastating threat. So yeah, I'm actually currently reading it. I haven't got very far into it. So as you can see, my bookmark is at page 21, but I'm really, really loving it so far. It's absolutely amazing. I love her writing style, so I'm extremely happy to have this one. And then finally, I have 4 books there's a little bit of a story with. So, 2 of my really good friends, Catherine and Dave, gave me a voucher to a local bookstore for my birthday, and I could afford to buy 2 books with that voucher. So I went to the bookstore and I picked out 2 books, which were The Flat Share, which is a book I have read before a couple of times now, and I absolutely loved it, and I wanted a physical copy because I have it on Kindle, well, Kobo, and yeah, I just wanted a physical copy, so I got this one. And then I picked up Strike the Zither by Joan He, because this book is a book that I'm supposed to be reading and vlogging for our 2nd and 3rd Ko-Fi tier for the Last to Read Book Club Ko-Fi, which is a Ko-Fi that Ellie, Lana and I have created, and all the info is down below if you want to find out a lot of my thoughts about Strike the Zither, which is what I've now read and vlogged for, but I got chatting with the person who was serving me at the bookstore and I didn't end up using the voucher, and for various reasons which I won't go into, I couldn't actually get the money back. I paid for it and I couldn't then get the money back to then use the voucher to buy these two books. So I went back in and I bought The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna and Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. So technically I bought for myself Strike the Zither and The Flat Share, and Dave and Catherine bought me these two, Nettle and Bone and The Great Alone. I'm going to go through now and read all of the blurbs for them. So for Strike the Zither, it says, "The year is 414 of the Zin dynasty, and chaos abounds. A puppet empress is on the throne. The realm has fractured, with 3 warlordesses each hoping to claim the continent for herself. But Zephyr knows it's no contest. Orphaned at a young age, Zephyr took control of her fate by becoming the best strategist in the land. Now she serves under the most honourable lordess, the last one still loyal to the empress. But honour is double-edged in a war where one must betray or be betrayed, and it's up to Zephyr to infiltrate a rival camp when survival hinges on it and there is more than one enemy. Can Zephyr finally overcome her fate?" So that's that one. Then The Flat Share. "Their friends think they're crazy, but it's the perfect solution. Leon occupies the 1-bed flat while Tiffy's at work in the day, and she has the run of the place the rest of the time. But with obsessive ex-boyfriends, wrongly imprisoned brothers, and of course the fact that they still haven't met yet, it seems his flat share is more complicated than expected." Then we have The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. 13-year-old Lenny is coming of age in a tumultuous time. Caught in the riptide of her parents' passionate, stormy relationship, she dares to hope that Alaska will lead to a better future for her family and a place to belong. Her mother, Cora, will do anything and go anywhere for the man she loves, even if it means following him into the unknown. As Lenny grows up in the shadow of her parents' increasingly volatile marriage, she meets Matthew. And Matthew, thoughtful, kind, brave, makes her believe in the possibility of a better life. An epic story of human survival and love, and an intimate portrait of a family tested beyond endurance, The Great Alone offers a glimpse into a vanishing way of life in America. With her trademark combination of elegant prose and deeply drawn characters, Kristen Hanna celebrates the remarkable and enduring strength of women. And then finally, Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher, which I've heard nothing but amazing things about. After years of seeing her sisters suffer at the hands of an abusive prince, Mara, the shy, convent-raised third-born daughter, has finally realised that no one is coming to their rescue. No one, except for Mara herself. Seeking help from a powerful grave witch, Mara is offered the tools to kill a prince, if she can complete 3 impossible tasks. But as is the way in tales of princes, witches and daughters, the impossible is only the beginning. On her quest, Mara is joined by the grave witch, a reluctant fairy godmother, a strapping former knight, and a chicken possessed by a demon. Together, the 5 of them intend to be the hand that closes around the throat of the prince and frees Mara's family and their kingdom from its tyrannous ruler at last. So, yeah, that was my incredible, most of the book birthday haul. Let me know if you've read any of these books, what you thought of them, which do you think I should start with, which are you most excited for me to read? Let me know all of those things in the comments below. If you'd like to leave me a comment but you don't know what, then leave me a celebratory emoji because that was me celebrating my birthday. All of my social media details are listed in the description below, so if you'd like to go and follow me on any of those other platforms, please feel free to do so. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would absolutely love it if you would subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. And yeah, like I said, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoy this video, and I will see you next time.